the upcoming Giants Live World Tour Finals. Now, the Stoltman brothers, as we all know by now, will not be competing, but if you want to see them in 2022, you can go to the Arnold Sport UK. They're going to be competing as well as talking at the Be Inspired stage. That's the place you can see the Stoltman brothers before the end of 2022. Maxime Boudreau will not be at the World Tour Finals. He has a shoulder injury, therefore he has withdrawn from the show. Makes sense. There's no point flying all the way from Canada to finish 4th, 5th, 6th, or potentially even dead last because he has to withdraw. So that makes complete sense. The athlete lineup is very good. Okay, there's absolutely nothing wrong, even though we've had a few big names withdraw. We still have Giants Live favourites, Alexi, Evan Singleton and Mitchell Hooper. We've got Kevin Fairs, Pat O'Dwyer, Andy Black. We've got Small Stellas, Paul Smith, Nakoniecki. So many good athletes competing, so I can't see why anyone would say, I'm not going to watch it now. The favourites now these big names are withdrawn, because we still got a fantastic quality lineup. So that said, let's have a look at some of the previous podium finishers. I would say, based on this information, Alexi, Evan and Mitchell Hooper are probably the favourites to finish on the podium. Again, I know you're going to say yes, Pavlo Nakoniecki won the last one, but you have to take into consideration as well that we had the deadlift championship that definitely drained a lot of the athletes. I always believe that the deadlift championship should be a completely separate show from a World Open or a finals or something like that. It should be not with the show. It should be completely separate by itself. So that's my thoughts on that. So I think now all the athletes are fresh. They don't have a deadlift championship. They don't have to deadlift 1,000 pounds. They're going to be strong and they're confident going in, and Evan Singleton looks like he's on fire at the moment. He's absolutely killing it. So I don't think Pavlo Nakoniecki will finish on the podium this time round. So let's move on. Let's talk about the events. The first event is the dumbbell press. Now, statistically speaking, I would say Alexei Novikov is the favourite. He's won the last time, the previous dumbbell events we've had at Giants Live. He won the 2021 Arnold UK. He won the Giants Live Strongman Classic. And when we leave Giants Live shows, he also won the Shore Classic 2022 dumbbell event. He won the Arnold Strongman Classic. He won the Giants Live Classic, and as I said here, the Arnold UK. So every time we have a dumbbell event, and the Rogue Invitational, last time we had the Cyril dumbbell ladder, he won that as well. So he's just so dominant when it comes to the dumbbell press. So you would say he's the favourite. But recently, Evan Singleton released a clip on social media of him doing a 100 kilogram deadlift, that's 220 pounds, for 6 reps. Now, the volume wasn't what impressed me. It was the technique and the execution. He was so quick, he was so explosive, so powerful, and the lockout was just spot on. He held it at the top long enough to get that down command. If he applies this same intensity, same technique at the World Tour Finals, he could potentially win this event. So he's definitely someone I would take into consideration as a potential winner of the dumbbell press. But going on experience, statistics, previous performances, I would say Alexei Novikov is still the favourite to win the dumbbell press. But even with, he has looked like he's had a bit of an injury the past couple of shows at the Cardiff, at the Shore Classic. But even with that injury at the Shore Classic, he still won the dumbbell press event. So I think it's highly unlikely that he will not win the dumbbell press. The nickel stone carry, we've got 3 favourites going in. Now, the last time we saw this was at the World Tour Finals last year. Kevin Fairs won it, Andy Black was second, Evan Singleton was third. You would say really that Kevin Fairs is probably the favourite. He's the world record holder at this. He won it the last time we were at Giants Live. He has an insane amount of grip strength. I don't know how, it's just God-given, I think. But Andy Black is very good at the nickel stone carry. Being Scottish, these are Scottish stones. I'm sure he'll want to do well on them. Evan Singleton is someone else to take into consideration as a potential winner of this event. He's very good at moving events. He's got a ridiculous amount of grip strength. But the granddaddy of grip strength is arriving at the Giants Live World Tour Finals, looking to shake things up. He could potentially win the event. You never know with Mark Felix, but realistically, I would say Kevin Fairs is most likely going to win it. But a lot of strong athletes who could do well on the nickel stone carry. Now, let's move on to the actual deadlift, one of my favourite events. So, based on previous data, I would say that Alexei Novikov is the favourite. Okay, he won it at the 2022 Giants Live Strongman Classic. He won it at the Arnold Giants Live 2021 World Tour Finals. He didn't compete at the Strongman Classic 2021. He finished second behind Adam Bishop, just one rep off, tying with him. So statistically speaking, I would say Alexei is the favourite. He is fantastic when it comes to the deadlift. He's brilliant when it comes to deadlifting for reps, but looking at previous data, I would also say Mitchell Hooper and Evan Singleton are people to take into consideration. Don't forget Mark Felix, the granddaddy of deadlift rep events. He always performs well. But I'd also take into consideration Paul Smith, another athlete who's very good at deadlifting, as with Eddie Williams. So we have a lot of good deadlifters competing this year at the Giants Live World Tour Finals. I'm sure it would look something like this. You've got athletes side by side. They've got a set time limit, maybe 60 seconds to 75 seconds to do as many reps as possible. I'm pretty positive they'll be allowed to wear deadlift suits and use the bar straps, even though I disagree with that. So the favourite really for me would probably be Alexei Novikov, but we have a lot of good deadlifters. Mitchell Hooper, for example, has lifted over 1,000 pounds twice in his career. Evan Singleton, another one. I'd also take into consideration Pavlo Nakoniecki and Kevin Fairs, as with Mark Felix, as with Graham Hicks. We've got so many good deadlifters, so it's really hard to pinpoint one person who will win this event, clearly. But based on statistics, I'm going to say the legend Alexei Novikov. So let's move on to the next event. It's the carry and drag, something we haven't seen in a while. We've seen carry events in recent years, but probably the last time we saw a carry and drag was in 2021. I believe it was in Manchester. I'm not quite sure what the format will be. I don't know whether maybe the shield carry will make a return as one of the implements in the carry part of the event. I'm not sure, possibly, maybe. I'm not a big fan of the shield carry. Maybe we'll see a frame carry like this, although I doubt it. We will most likely see something more along the lines of this, where we'll have a keg into the skip and then a heavy sandbag, which they'll have to pick up, lap it and carry and throw into the skip, as we can see Andy Black doing right here, and then finish with a tire, like we can see Andy Black doing a bit of a dad run to collect, which they'll put onto their shoulders, run down the course with, throw it into the skip, and then they will go into a drag event. We might see the anchor carry make a return, although I doubt it, simply because we're going to have a drag event. It will most likely be an anchor chain drag, so I highly doubt we'll see an anchor as part of the carry implements. We will most likely see what we see Shane Flowers doing right here, which is a keg, then the sandbag, and then finish with the tire, and then go into a heavy chain drag, and it has to all be done within a set time limit. But maybe they'll come up with something completely unique, completely different that we haven't seen at Giants Live, but I doubt it. This will be what the chain will look like. They'll have a big anchor on the end of it, and they'll have to drag it as far as they possibly can after having done the carry part of the event. So based on previous stats, I would say that Alexei is most likely the favourite to win this event, but Evan Singleton has done really well in recent years on these sort of moving medley events. The last time we saw a carry and drag, Evan Singleton won it and Alexei finished third. At the Shore Classic this year on the moving medley, we saw Evan Singleton do really well and finish second. At the 2021 Arnold UK, Alexei won the frame carry, and at 2022 World's Strongest Man in the finals, we saw Mitchell Hooper do really well on the Giants medley event. So we've got a lot of good athletes who are very good at moving events, especially things that are carrying related. So it's hard to really pick one specific athlete, one athlete to win the event, because there are so many dominant athletes at these moving and loading events. But if I was to choose one based on previous data and based on just that raw strength, that pure potential, the stamina, the endurance, the fitness, I would say Evan Singleton, as long as everything goes to plan and he doesn't have any health issues or injuries, I would say Evan Singleton is the favourite to win this event. The final event is the Power Stairs. Not one of my favourites personally, nor do I think it deserves to be the final event dethroning the legendary Castle Stones, but I'm not the promoter or organiser, so it's their decision. So we don't have a lot to go off because we haven't seen this event in recent years. But based on the previous performances, we saw Mitchell Hooper do well at World's Strongest Man finals on this event, as with Alexei. At Europe's Strongest Man, Alexei Novikov won the Power Stairs event. Konstantin Janashia, unfortunately, he's not there. So Pavlo Kordiaka, who is competing this year at the World Tour Finals, did well, as with Small Stellas. So we've got some names that can do well on this event. In terms of the setup, I think it will most likely be similar to this. It will look like this. In terms of people who I think will do well, I think Pavlo Nakoniecki will do well because he's tall, he's athletic, he's strong. He definitely should do well on this. A top 3 finish for sure. Alexei Novikov, having won this event in the past, should be a favourite. Also, I'd like to take into consideration Mitchell Hooper. He did very well at World's Strongest Man on the Power Stairs. I think given the time he's had since then to practice and train this event and become stronger, he should do even better at this year's World Tour Finals. So, who do I think is the most likely to win this event? I think it has to be Mitchell Hooper. I just have a gut feeling he's going to do really well on this event. So based on all that information, all the events analysed, the competitors, I asked you guys in a poll recently, who do you think is going to win? Because we know the events by now, so you should be able to make some sort of an assumption. And it was Alexei Novikov, the clear favourite, 51% of the votes. 22% to Mitchell Hooper, and then we have Pavlo Nakoniecki, 19%, then Evan Singleton. At the time, Maxime Boudreau was still a competitor. Since then, he's withdrawn. That's why he's still on the poll, because I did this before he announced that. So who do I think is going to win it? I think it has to be Alexei Novikov. I think he's going to win it based on my analysis of the events, based on where he can place in each event. I think in terms of points, he's going to do really well. But if he ends up having to share a whole bunch of points with the likes of Mitchell Hooper, Evan Singleton, people like Kevin Fairs, it's not going to be a clear victory. So I think most likely it's going to be Alexei Novikov, Mitchell Hooper, Evan Singleton, Pavlo Nakoniecki. In terms of fifth, there are way too many good athletes to decide who gets that final 5th place finish. There's too much talent to really clearly decide that. But most likely Kevin Fairs, I think so. But we'll wait and see. So now it's your time. Comment below, who do you think is going to win? Who do you think is going to finish on the podium? Who do you think is going to finish in the top 5? Who do you think is going to win what event? And give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And click subscribe and turn on notifications to keep up to date with all of the latest strongman news. Thanks for watching and have a great day.